Welcome, everyone. Welcome to War in the Soul City, Episode 6. Last we left off, our coterie was granted a new member in the form of Ken Tanaka, a new Toreador who came to the Camarilla, was granted a position in the dig crew by Prince Calhoun, and the coterie members immediately began to grill him with questions. Questions of his origin, of his intentions, of his skills and merits, and whatever else they could possibly think of. The coterie, well, I suppose we should gather their thoughts on this new kindred. Rodney, what are your thoughts on this new pretty boy?
Too many pretty people. Too many. Three of them. 3 to add to the total of 6 that we now have. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of mouths to feed.
It is.
It's a lot of expectation. He's Anarch born. One would think putting an Anarch born into our domain would be considered unwise. We are the wall is what we've become. We're information specialists, and we keep an eye on things that are passing to and from, and throwing an Anarch born amongst us would be a problem. But we will see. I need to know who Ken really is. Who was he before he became this Ken Tanaka? Who was he when he was mortal? Knowing that lets me cover our asses. Yes.
Well, you are one of the primary information gatherers in this entire coterie. It might not be hard to find, but your stash of things is a horrid mess, so who knows. And then there's Malice, the independent Hekata of this coterie.
Why they would Calhoun put this stone around my neck? I'm not even one of. I'm only associated with these people. I help them out. I'm not even Camarilla. Why? All this shit going on. So many threads, so much going on. By this monkey wrench. Anarch. What are they planning? And why did they just give us this new one? As he wants to be a cam, but he's an Anarch. I don't trust him. Trust any of them. One more person to watch.
One more to watch indeed. You have your own ambitions, Mr. Malos. Who knows if these Camarilla types are going to get in the way of that.
They always do.
Dana, you share a clan with this very beautiful, lithe, graceful figure. And yet you seem to distrust him most of all.
Might be a reason for that. Fact of the matter is that I am trying to end up finding out what he's here, and there as I've been figuring the whole circumstance is that he is meant to be thrown into the front lines to be one of the first to be ashed the moment that everything goes south. Makes sense? I mean, it's been tried before, hasn't it? Till then, wow. I'm also worried on certain implications. Not sure what he knows. But if he knows what I think he knows, this is just a whole mess of trouble that I have absolutely no want to be around. So I gotta end up making sure that there's a certain distance between us. Only let him know what I need him to know. Let him think what I want him to think. Treat him as dangerous as a direct sunlight exposure. A little day star that has been thrown right into my lap to scorch me. I know what this play is. No one wants to say it, but I know. And knowing will be enough now.
Knowing is half the battle, they say. The other half is up to you what you do with it. And then our little fledgling, Ken Tanaka. The man who knows the least amongst this coterie, given how young he is, and yet has been thrust into a border patrol, as it were. So, your thoughts, Mr. Tanaka?
I don't know why they would have put me here. I don't know anything about this coterie. I don't know what their plans are. They certainly don't trust me, and I don't blame them. But the only thing I can think of is to keep my head down and try to figure out my place in this. That's all I can do.
You've been given a great gift of a second chance. Your ignorance can only be excused this once. And Prince Calhoun made that abundantly clear to you. Follow the rules, be a useful tool, and you should survive, at the very least, a decade or so. Maybe longer. But that brings us to the end of this day, the night coming upon this small city of Jackson, Mississippi. So, I would like the kindred of this group to make rouse checks.
Success.
Ken and Dana, your stomachs grumble. Your throats itch. You want that sweet nectar of life more so than you did when you fell asleep. It takes extra effort to wake those dead bones and flesh tonight. While Malice and Rodney, you have an easier time. What is everybody's hunger right now?
Currently at 2.
Same here.
One.
One.
Alright. Not at any risk. Currently. And so, the four of you wake. Mercy has already gone to do some of the rounds that she was meaning to make in getting herself stocked up and possibly assisting more of the Hikata side of things. Liv has already left to go and do her rounds. And so it's just the four of you. So what do you discuss in this basement bunker that you've set up for all of you?
Well, at this point, we need to end up figuring out if we have everything we need when it comes down to the Prince's blood tax, making sure that we're making appropriate offering. There has been a few hiccups, to my understanding, on their own offerings, but mine is prepped and ready. But I won't have myself embarrassed in court because somebody decided that it wasn't a priority. Much as I hate to say it, we're all in this together, shackled by fate and decree alike.
Speaking of which, Mr. Kyle Owen has already been blowing up your phone to maybe have another date sometime soon. He's eager to see you again.
Do I make him wait or not? I'll probably respond after this meeting, see what's the appropriate. Tell him I end up giving the offhand remark. Sometimes business calls will try and free up some schedule for some alone time. Very least I can sample the goods.
It doesn't hurt.
My tax is just waiting to be bagged and tagged, if you will. Just waiting. I'm not so good at that side of things.
We're here. Just no one's talking.
Ken only recently learned about this blood tax, so he has to go and secure a proper offering, which she might do tonight if the coterie doesn't have anything that is pressing enough that he needs to be around for.
And he expresses this to the group?
Yes.
Does no one have thoughts on that?
It is, I do not believe it is overly prudent for you to retrieve an offering at this point, since you've only been here a night or two. But if you wish to add, if you wish to add, I would not say no. I think.
I would like to pull my own weight, as it were. It's just the least I can do.
Okay.
As Dana said, I do not wish to embarrass you all.
As I understand it, Rodney needs help securing their intended acts. Do you need any help, Ken?
Well, as Dana pointed out, if I turn on the charm, I should be able to find the date relatively easily. Does it have to be bagged and tagged, or can it walk in on its own free will?
It should be able to walk in of its own accord. It should be able to last at least 3 or 4 months. Does not have to be of any particular residence, save what you prefer. If you're making a gift to someone, knowing what they prefer is best, but general understanding, you only have to make one per group. It should be able to last 3 to 4 months and should be of a resonance with the majority of your likings.
What he said.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Okay.
Rodney just said what he said.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to ask what you missed because I.
Oh no, I heard everything you said.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, I'm not sure about the resonances yet, but I can find someone appropriate, I think.
You have time to figure that out. My understanding is you're still young. As far as the ins and outs of this group, it comes and goes, but primarily we are investigators. We are also a, how do I put this? We are a first line of defense for anything coming out of the Flowwood. So,
I don't know how useful I will be in a fight. I can shoot a little, but I don't think that does much to our kind.
Well, then you best
Unless-
figure that out very quickly.
don't put it away, because you shoot it enough, it'll hurt it enough that it might go into torpor.
Well, that is something then.
But
I'll
no,
have to secure something then.
it is not the most effective means of taking one of us out. What kind of furniture do we have? Our little meeting area.
Whatever it is you wanted to bring down. You have a hotel above
Okay.
you, so if you wanted to bring down beds, if you wanted to bring down couches, all of
I,
it would
I,
have
I
been
was
freely
thinking
available.
along the lines of like tables, chairs, couches. Yeah.
The space for the sleeping quarters are especially essentially little small one room closets.
Right.
You've specifically carved this out to have your own little sleeping spaces, but primarily have a sort of front room for gathering together, which has a couch or two, maybe a coffee table.
I'll also kick the leg of the coffee table and say this is more effective for taking most of us out than anything else.
Understood. I do have a question about our rooms. Am I allowed to decorate it any way I wish? Or do you have, want to keep things clean?
It is yours to do it as you see fit. For as
Thank,
long as you are here.
thank you.
Uh,
Is that everything?
Unless people have questions for me.
uh,
So what exactly did you end up doing with the Anarchs?
I was primarily someone that tried to lure people in. I didn't. As I said, I'm not a frontline fighter, and I did not agree with how they did things. But I tried to make myself useful.
I'd like to insight check that.
Okay, yeah, that's a Wince insight for you, Dana. And Ken, I would like you to make me. Well, the question is, are you being truthful, or are you trying to keep something hidden?
Um, as far as I like, at least in my mind of what Ken did, that is truthful.
Is there anything that you're hiding at the moment?
Not as it pertains to this question.
Okay, then that would be a charisma persuasion. It's a tie. Did you want to use willpower, Ken?
No, I think I'm good. I'm not really trying to hide anything, and if she sees through me, she might, you know, it would cause less problems rather than having them wonder.
As far as you can tell, Dana, the words as he says them are truthful.
mm. Tis the second time I've heard you say this. What do you mean about how they function and how they do things rubs you the wrong way? Because I see it, we're not that much better.
I dislike the collateral damage and the violence. It is. It's one thing to defend oneself, but to willingly do some of the things that they have planned. It's just not something I could live with.
Plans? What plans?
They... Well, you guys never asked why I was allowed here, but they were planning to bomb something, and that would have caused a lot of death. And I could not live with myself if I let that go away. So it was the last straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. And that is when I sought out who I sought out, and how I ended up here.
Hmm.
Who did you seek out?
Who did I seek out, storyteller? Because I never really figured that out of who I first contacted, and
Your first contact would have been a young Toreador by the name of Walter Holloway.
how would I have found him?
He doesn't make his presence secret in Kindred Society. He is boisterous and is very easy to find, as he often finds himself in different social settings. He's very charismatic, but he's also very poised. Someone, if you didn't know any better, you might mistake for the Harpy.
And it was Walter, correct?
Yep, his name is Walter. And actually, he's not very young at all. He's an Ancilla.
Okay. I knew of a man named Walter. He seemed to travel in a lot of circles, and he is the first person I sought out to see if there was anything that could be done.
Do I know that name, Walter, or any kindred that go back by that name?
Those who want to can make an intelligence politics.
All right.
Dana, do you want in on it? Or did... Derek diced.
I literally need to build up impossible dice pools just to give myself fighting chances.
At larger than 2 successes. I'm sorry. I call for rolls, and this is what happens.
It's all right.
He seemed
6 successes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All nines.
Alice coming in with the high roll.
He seemed to be old, and I don't know why he took sympathy on me, but I am thankful.
Dana and Rodney, you've heard of the name before. You maybe have seen him, Dana, in other Toreador circles, but not that you really pay attention much or really interact with many of your own clan, given your distaste for the Camarilla in general. So you have only heard the name, but Malice, you know a bit more. You know that he tends to like to play a managerial role in whatever endeavor he's on at the moment. He's known to have flights of fancy, but he always likes to lead. He likes to lead the charge in whatever it is that he's doing, and he's actually made some very successful uh, businesses as a result of his flights of fancy. In that, there's some very successful shopping districts near downtown that could be a result of his influence. One can't really say for sure, but it's also rumored that he's also taken a fancy with tailoring at one point. But he has since moved on from that, since he hasn't really stitched clothing since the 30s.
Man of many tastes and talents that can't seem to find a single direction to go with. Would I know his standing in the court?
His standing in the court? He's not anyone of any particular note. He's not titled or anything.
Okay.
But he has been known to get along fairly well with Caitlin Fargus, Liv's sire, and Austin Wright, Dana's sire, fairly well, as well as get along with the Ventru.
Always nice to have a friend in the Ventru.
Though his distaste for the Harpy doesn't go unnoticed. At least not to those who are paying attention.
Okay. He has issues with the Harpy, then. Interesting man to first. How do you know Walter?
Just from passing in some circles, he seemed someone knowledgeable enough that I could ask for at least what I should be doing, because you can't exactly, I couldn't ask anyone around me. I had to go outside.
Yeah, that would have been a very bad idea. Especially if you're intending to turn on those whom you are associated.
Don't make it a habit.
Yeah, ways of getting rid of bodies. Okay. That's all very interesting. Thank you for the elucidation, Kenny. And Malice turns to Rodney. What was it that you needed help with?
Bringing the target in for the thing.
Do you have a plan for that?
No.
Do you have any ideas?
Go in while he's sleeping and drag him out?
That is one way. Not the most advisable, especially if any neighbors are light sleepers. I thought you had suggested a free stay at the hotel the last time we spoke.
Yes,
If that is still your idea,
that was left in the hand of the Toreador of the group.
Someone could play concierge and deliver his winning room key.
that was my plan.
That sounds good.
I'm so glad to end up hearing on how much faith you all end up having in me. Or do you think I'm just simply standing around looking as pretty as I am?
You got a pretty ass and all, but I wasn't intending you on this.
The arrangements have already been made.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, the hard part, if anything, is the gamble on whether they'll take it. That, I figure you might want to get creative.
Okay, so Dana has already made arrangements. That's plan A. If that falls through,
Speaking of which,
What?
Dana, high or low?
Hi.
I'll make a note.
if that falls through, your suggestion could be plan B, Rodney.
Okay.
But we're not going to push it too long.
So, was there anything else?
Not to my knowledge.
Unless you all have more questions of me, I am good for the night. I have things I should do.
Now
Did
this
you
I
need
gotta
help?
see.
Or a cheering section?
Well, who's doing what?
Well, unless Kenny ends up telling us about what his plans are for the evening, and they don't sound like a total bore. If they do, I'll gladly end up taking up on that date, if only to end up making sure that, well, the world's most delectable Lunchable ends up at least arriving at time. I might end up taking on that date in that regard, making time for him.
Hmm.
Well, my plans, I'm going to go and try to secure an offering. Find a date of my own.
Rodney is going to go check on his offering. Maybe do a little bit of sabotage in their home. And then come back and do some more research on a certain coterie member.
In fact,
Nice.
Rodney, as you're going up towards the exit of the hotel, and you sneak a peek over towards the front desk, you do see a familiar young gentleman at the front desk, kind of asking the clerk at the desk if the The thing he received in the mail was legit.
Perfect. Well, in that case, I can just do my research.
In the meantime, Malice, what are you up to?
Malice had asked if Ken needed a wingman or a cheering section.
Hmm.
Oh, I've missed that part. I think I can. Unless you are looking for someone to take on your own, I think I can handle this on my own. Finding someone who fancies me usually is not very hard.
Finding people's easy. Finding the right person, not always so. In that
True.
case, since Ken doesn't seem to want any company, Malice will be having a conversation with Katarina.
Then to Canaritas it is. Dana.
I didn't hear a question.
What are you going to be up to?
Like I said, I guess I'm going on that date since, well, actually, no. If I recall, it was Kenny who said they wanted to secure their own. This I gotta see.
Then
So
following.
I think I'm gonna be a peanut gallery there.
You can, if Ken wants you to, or allows it.
You can try.
He can certainly try.
If you want to come with me, dress a bit sporty for where we're going. Our usual attire will stand out too much. Unless that's what you wish.
Lick, I don't think you fully grasp your position right now. I'm going because, bluntly, I want to end up seeing this in action. How I dress, where I go, who do I associate with, and how I present myself, that's none of your business. You're under us, not the other way around.
It was merely a suggestion.
No, it wasn't.
You can think what you want, dear.
Well, let's see what you can do, laughing boy.
Oh, he just gets under your skin, doesn't he? He's prettier than you, Dana.
I really don't think he understands the position that he's in. We'll end up finding out on what it is that he's about. Hopefully he'll make this fun, not a giant pain in the ass like I'm expecting it to be. But if he wishes to end up dancing under the moonlight with us, there are some rules.
Too true. So, Rodney, you're kind of staying home and going about your research into a certain kindred who has been dumped on your coterie.
Yes. Yes.
Well, if you can consider a gift from Prince Calhoun a dumping.
I think a gift, and I will keep this to myself. A gift might be a little too generous for what has happened here.
Possibly. What in the world can Prince Calhoun be thinking?
I wouldn't dare assume. But perhaps it's a show of faith. I can only hope.
Perhaps. But you are wanting to do into the research into Ken Tanaka the man, not the kindred.
Yes.
If you can assume that's his real name.
What's the old saying? Assumptions make an ass. But he is Asian, so Asian names are a given. Tanaka just happens to be the first name that I look at.
Well, if I remember correctly, the last episode, you did do some research into the name Tanaka.
Yes.
And you found a couple entries in the phone book. But that was upwards of 10 years ago. And kind of skimming through the phone books, slimmer as they've gotten over the years, you don't see the name Tanaka appear in those other thinner phone books. Even looking at the phone books themselves, it looks like the going trend is that many people over the years are not registering their numbers to be listed.
Even still, I will check the addresses that I have. Get some eyes on them. Particularly ones that are located nearby Flowwood. But I won't go in Flowwood again. No, never again. Never again.
And so, those addresses from 10 years ago, you're going to head out into the streets to go and research that. So, the first house that you happen upon does have a car out in the front.
Promising. How are the lights? Is it lit?
It is still early in the evening, even though it's dark. So the lights are still on.
Keeping my distance away from the building, I'd like to stand within the shadow of a tree or something nearby. Somewhere where I can peer into the home itself, if it's possible.
So you want to listen in to the house?
Look in.
Look in? Okay. Then I would like you to make me first a dexterity stealth. Just to kind of get an understanding of how quiet you are. How unnoticeable you are.
I would like to look
Okay.
at that. That's better.
Alright, that's 4. Your steps are silent on the grass. Your movements fluid, given your size and your misshapen form. The years that you've spent in this form, however, have given you the ability to work around such things, be able to maneuver yourself in very dexterous ways. And so, to try and get advantage into the house, you're going to be going to the corner of a window where there's windows. or there's kind of drapes in front of the windows. It's lit inside. The drapes are kind of obscuring the vision inside, so you have to find a corner to kind of settle yourself into for that window. So that would be a wits awareness.
Aha!
Looking inside, there is a woman standing at the kitchen stove, cooking a meal, it looks like.
What about her can I make out, like her features and things like that?
She's average size, probably about 5'6" from your guesstimation. Dark hair, light skin.
Caucasian features or?
You're seeing her back, you're not seeing her face.
He's gonna wait for a little bit, just watching her move around and see if see if she doesn't turn around at some point.
How long do you wait?
Probably about maybe 10, 20 minutes. I mean, she's cooking, so it probably won't take anywhere near that long.
Okay. You are not obfuscated. It is dark outside, but you are peeking into a well lit interior where there's lights shining out through the windows, even though it's obscured by drapes, and you only have like this specific vantage point on her. So if you don't want to be seen, what do you intend to do about it?
Well, I guess I will obfuscate.
Okay.
I
So
didn't realize how obvious that was.
So you're using which power?
Cloak of Shadows. Because
Okay.
I'm pretty much still.
Yeah, standing still, you're obscured. That's no big deal at all. You can wait there as long as you like. And so eventually she does turn around, and you see she has a fairly round face. Glasses. Her eyes a little obscured by them. She's older, maybe 40s, 50s.
Possibly not who I'm looking for.
Possibly not.
He's going to slip away from the house. Does this house have a mailbox in the front?
It does.
He's kind of going to make his way down there, and he's going to very quickly check and see if there's any mail left in the mailbox.
Okay. That I'm going to ask for a dexterity larceny to do that in a not so obvious fashion. Okay. That's 3. The mailbox sticks a little bit, but it doesn't take much to open it up.
I just want to check the name on the letters, if there is any in there.
That's going to be a high or low.
High.
Oh, there's something
Yes.
in there. There's an advertisement for the local grocery store. But it does say current residents and not their name.
Damn it.
But that seems to be all that was left.
Puts back and kind of notes that one down as a maybe, but probably not in his head, making his way to the next one.
Okay. So, going to the other houses that you found listed from 10 years ago, one of them, clearly on the outside of the mailbox as you're passing by it, says Richardson.
One's a bust.
So that one's pretty obvious that the Tanaka family might not be living there anymore. And the third one that you come across is kind of close to the border of the northern Flowwood neighborhood, a little closer than you like, getting really close to the Pearl River.
Mm.
And again, you see a vehicle outside. Lights are on inside, although it's getting a little later now in the evening.
He wants to do the same thing with this house as he did with the last one. See if he can't get a vantage point inside. He'll check the mail first, though.
Okay, that one's a high or low as well.
Let's go high again.
No,
Oof.
nothing present.
Okay. So if he wants to go up and see if he can't find somewhere where he can maybe get a look inside and see if there are people moving around in there.
Okay. Yeah, finding a spot and obfuscating yourself with their cloak of shadows, it's easy enough to do. You see you see inside over the course of how long? How long do you stay there?
15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. Over the course of that 15-20 minutes, you see kind of a younger man. Kind of tall, black hair. He's very slim. Seems to be just kind of watching TV.
Can I see his face?
From this angle, no. But it doesn't look like he's getting up very, very soon, because you kind of hear, very muffled through the window, but you kind of hear the rustling of maybe a snack bag.
Did I see a doorbell on his front door?
No, not a doorbell, but there is a knocker.
Is there anywhere within view of the front door where Rodney could feasibly hide?
In this particular area of the domain, you're seeing kind of cookie cutter houses, much like you saw like in the Flowwood domain itself. It's like it's kind of starts here on the outskirts where of that domain, where inside the Camarilla territory is where it starts to get a short front yard with a sidewalk, steps up to the door, kind of the front of the house is shorter than the length of the house, and then whatever's in the backyard. They all kind of look the same. Like this subdivision was created with all the same houses, sort of.
Because what he wants to do is a kind of like a ding dong ditch
Yeah.
to try and get a look at this guy's face.
There's not very much in the way of trees, but the houses are close enough together that if you were to, for instance, knock on the door, run off the porch, and dive along the side of the house, you might get out of the way in time. Just depends how quick you are.
It's risky.
Because the house itself is on the front side 25-30 feet across. Possibly more. You can't really tell.
Any of my cats nearby the area? Do I know?
Unless you brought some of them with you, most of them start avoiding even going anywhere near the Pearl River.
That's fair. Okay.
They stay as far away from that as they possibly can.
And if I was to tap on the window and go still, he wouldn't be able to see me, would he? With my cloak of shadows on.
So long as you don't have line of sight, so long as he doesn't have line of sight of you when you activate it, then yeah, you go unnoticed.
Okay, so what he's going to do is he's going to...
But knocking on the window might force a line of sight. You don't know.
He's going to... is there a little rock somewhere near him?
Is there a little what near him?
A rock or a pebble?
Yeah. There's dirt, there's grass, there's rocks, whatever it is you like on the ground.
I'm going to pick up a small pebble. Not big enough to cause any actual damage, but he's going to toss it back towards the glass and kind of slink into the shadows next to or underneath the window and hit his cloak of shadows while looking at the window itself.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna call for a composure and athletics.
Oh.
Because you know how the blood runs in Nosferatu, that your clan has been known to be incredibly strong. And while you might not have those powers innately at the moment, you know how these things go. Okay. So, let's see. Let's do a quick check. Doesn't seem that whatever noise you made didn't seem to catch his attention.
bugger. Can I try again?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, he's gonna try again. Am I rolling that roll again?
Yeah, you can roll the same roll.
Oh, Jesus.
I will give you the choice of composure or strength, depending which one you want.
Strength is actually a bit better.
That is an option.
So, go with my athletic strength.
That is a crit. Okay. So, you pick up a slightly larger rock. In fact, it's more like a handful of dirt that you just scoop up with your lanky hands. And in a little bit of a frustrated gesture, just chuck the whole fistful of sand at the window. And you wait a moment. You cloak. You see the person come up to the window.
Can I see his face?
You're looking at him, the silhouette kind of obscures it a little bit. You can't really tell if he's kind of tan like Hispanic descent or if he's tan like Asian descent. It's a little hard to tell with the silhouette, but skin tone might be right, question mark?
Can I make out any of his other general features? I want to know if he looks at all like Ken.
That you can't make out. Given that the light is kind of shining from behind his head, his face is silhouetted.
And what was the name for the place? For this particular place that I had in that I'd found?
All of these had a Tanaka name on them about 10 years ago. But any other Tanakas listed in the phone book haven't been listed for at least that long.
Hmm.
And
Instead of pressing his luck, he's going to step away from this and kind of head back.
well, now that you've kind of thrown a fistful of sand at the window, he's kind of opened it and started looking around.
Well, he's going to stay still until this person is kind of confirmed that there's nothing there. He's just going to stay dead still.
It's about another 10 minutes later. This person comes out of the house, kind of walks around the perimeter. Looks like he's got a baseball bat in his hand at this point. Being as still as you are, you never really do get a good look at his face, given how dark it is.
Damn it.
And so, after a few moments, he goes back inside, and kind of running his fingers through his short hair, and kind of looks like he shakes his head a little bit and goes back inside.
Yep. Okay. Rodney will then leave. That was a little bit too close for comfort. he's going to make his way back towards the hotel.
Okay. In the meantime, our lovely friend Malice was heading towards Hecata region of the city.
As Malice leaves the hotel, he's gonna reach out to his contact with the police force.
Okay.
Mike.
And what do you intend to ask this person to do?
You're gonna see if he can get Paul to run a background check on Mr. Kent.
He does state that that's going to cost a pretty penny if you want it to stay off the books.
How pretty.
Otherwise, he's going to ask questions.
How pretty.
How pretty?
Mm-hmm.
What is your resources?
2.
Enough that it would tie up temporarily until January 1st. That 1 dot of your resources is unusable. You'd be effectively a proletariat.
Fine. Yeah. How do I, how do you want this? Where do you want this?
He gives you the usual place and says he can have that done for you tomorrow.
Alrighty then.
You drop off the payment in the usual place, and he'll drop off the information.
Alright. That's taken care of then. Alright, see you tomorrow.
And so, you find your way to the hospital where most of the Hecata find themselves in this particular region. The University of Mississippi Medical Center. Not very far from where you typically work. And you know exactly how to find Katerina when you want to find her.
Good evening, Miss Argento.
Oh, Malice. I wasn't expecting you.
Sure you were.
But it's a pleasant surprise. What can I help you with?
Well, for starters, the hell would you have me given to an anon? Knowing how close this hits to home and the situations I've been involved in, I kind of need to know.
I kind of expected you to ask me weeks ago.
It's been kind of busy.
Of course, with other pressing matters, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you must know, it was simply a letter.
I was awful weighty for a letter. About 15 pounds, give or take.
A letter's not always in written form, my dear.
How's that?
Well, when you're sending the ashes of a particular someone's loved one back to them, back to where they properly belong, you can only imagine how that gets read.
That's not a letter.
It is, though, when you think about it.
That's
Prince
a
Cal.
package.
Yes.
I don't consider that a letter. That's generally a cigar box or an urn. And from the weight of it, that had to have been an urn because I don't know any cigar boxes that weigh that much. Unless you've got about 5 of them in there, and even then, with all the ashes, you'd have to add a couple bricks to make that kind of weight. So,
But you see, it wasn't exactly the package that was the important part of the delivery.
what was?
The message that it sends.
And what was that message, and to whom was it being sent?
Is that important?
It is to me because when you have me running shit to the Anarchs, well, my sire found out what goes wrong when you start fucking around with the Anarchs.
Oh, believe me, I know what goes wrong in that regard. I was tasked with sending that back to its proper owner, an anarch in that domain. That's why I asked you to deliver it
Was
for
it,
me.
so was it to Urian Doyle or to someone else in that home?
They'll know.
Hell no.
Why does this strike you as something that Magdalene would do, Malice?
Because this is the kind of shit Magdalene was doing.
No. Magdalene was conspiring with anarchs. She was going against the family.
You were tasked with sending this message to someone specifically.
Yes.
Now, I am telling you what Magdalene was doing looked exactly like this. So you can see where I might have some concern and some confusion as to what the hell's going on here. Because it looks like you trying to get me involved and get rid of me as well. So
No.
that you no longer have any obligation.
Why would I get rid of you when you're the most promising member of the family yet here in Jackson?
Y'all
Malice?
still don't trust me because I was hired by Magdalene.
And yet here you are. You didn't die with her. Prince Calhoun
Because I
could have
make
very
sure
well
she's
asked for
home.
yours and Mercy's head too, and I would have had to oblige him. But instead, you're here. You didn't suffer the same fate as your sire. In fact, you and Mercy both were the ones who took care of it.
Yes, we were. And regardless, are still not trusted because of her. Because her name is attached as being our sire. Held at arm's length as far as we can from anything where we could actually learn anything and grow. Because nobody trusts us because of her.
I have been a little less forthcoming with you, yes. With the lessons in which you need, the lessons you are asking for when it comes to the various powers that we have as the Clan of the Dead. Is that what you're resenting me for?
I don't resent you.
Don't you?
No. As I said, not just you. You're distrusted, kept at arm's length. Distrusted because of who she was, regardless that we were the ones that made sure she's gone.
Because she was an anarch and betrayed the family.
We've been nothing but loyal to the family. Done everything that's been asked. Gone out of our way to prove that we are who we are, that we are loyal to the family. It seems, like I said, regardless of what you know, from our perspective, as if someone's trying to get rid of us the same way Magdalene was gotten rid of, by getting us entangled in plots with the fucking Anarchs.
I never meant for you to get entangled with them. Just to drop off a package and be done.
Package has been dropped off. As
And
I
thus the
said,
message has been sent, and I appreciate you for doing it.
I don't I don't know whether it was meant for Uriah Doyle or someone else in his home, but it was sent, I assure you. He seemed rather startled to see that I was keeping an eye on the package, whether he knows me by face or not. You know, somebody was keeping an eye on it.
Well, I'm sure he would have been expecting that. As
I, from the startled expression that he gave and his reaction, I doubt he was expecting that.
well, can't expect much
Maybe
from
he should have been.
fledglings.
For mere fledglings at that.
Barely old enough to fly out of the nest, and he goes and joins the Anarchs.
Wonder what Mr. Colin de Ponce would think of that.
Oh, his opinions are absolutely of two minds. That much is clear. The Tremere don't like him. But neither does the rest of the city, really. Being the sire of a traitor.
You don't really get to control your children, do you? You do your best. You hope you've done what you can. Taught them the best that you can.
Well,
When it gets down to it,
there's
you
one
really
way
have no.
that those kinds of things are usually mitigated. And then
Rumor has it that I don't work with them no more.
that's the rumor, anyway.
Like I said, if
Not sure
that's
what
the
happened.
case, if that's the case, then as I said, you have no control over your children. You do your best. You raise them right. Teach them the best you can to.
And
But
that's...
when it comes down to it, even through blood bond, one's will can only be subdued so long before it sets itself forth and says, "No, I will take no more." You really don't know what's going on in their heads, as you put it there.
She just kind of walks up and gets kind of close to you and kind of cups your cheeks in her hands.
Gus just closes his eyes and sighs very heavily.
Such a worrywart, you.
Given what I've been through, did anyone wonder? And he looks directly in her eyes.
You made that choice, Malice.
I didn't make the choice for all of this, but
You made the choice to be strongly associated with the Dig Crew.
playing the hand that's been dealt. I was told to make myself available. I did exactly that. Apparently, I made myself too available. That's what you're saying. What can you tell me about this Mr. Tanaka?
Tanaka.
Yeah, Mr. Calhoun seems to have thrown another lodestone round our necks with Mr. Ken Tanaka.
Oh, how
And
unfortunate.
Fledgling. Exactly.
I mean, if you consider him a lodestone, that is.
Oh, I do, because I don't know jack shit about him. Brand new motherfucker from the Anarchs.
The more of them we can steal, either for our side or for Prince Calhoun, the better, isn't it?
The more of them that I don't really have to fuck with anymore, one way or another, is better for me.
I mean, I don't really have any stake in whether or not which one wins in
They're
this
gonna do what they're
war.
gonna do. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of this shit and on the front line of it, according to my information.
You could walk away.
Go where?
Back here.
But I was specifically told to make myself available.
Make
So,
yourself available.
and
You
help,
aren't
yes.
tied to them.
I'm not tied to them. I was told to make myself available and useful. And that's what I've done. Just put me as part of the dig crew. Been an independent. So,
Then what are you complaining about?
I'm understanding. You're saying there's no harm, no foul if I decide they're not worth my time.
No? I mean, Prince Calhoun might be angry about it, but he's the last person to really get rid of the Ikata presence here, since we're the only ones connected to the family between here and Texas.
Hmm. Well, I'll keep that in mind. I'll let you know if I have a decision after the ball. But can I expect to start getting back into those lessons you were discussing earlier?
You did exactly as I asked. So it's only fair that
Yeah.
I keep up my end of the deal. So, you were wanting to learn something about ashes to ashes.
No. Awaken the homuncular servant.
Homuncular
I already have.
servant.
I already have ashes to ashes. It's the only ceremony Magdalene ever taught me.
Well, if you have time tonight, we can start.
I have all the time you need. That is until sunrise, anyways.
Of course. And with that, we're going to leave Malice and Katerina to begin training Malice in the ceremony of the homuncular servant. But our two Toreador are out together on the streets themselves to collect something else of their own. Our lovely Ken is looking for a date, and Dana's tagging along because it might be funny.
Two questions before we do that.
Sure.
One, could I have gathered some things before we left?
Such as?
Just my bag and some gym clothes and a
Yeah, that's not
you
too.
know.
Not too much of a problem. You own those things, so you can grab them whenever you like.
Okay, and second, how is Dana dressed?
That is not a question for me to ask. Dana, how are you dressed? Or for me to answer, I should say.
Oh, I'm just coming in my usual attire. Provocative meets punk metal.
Ken will just look over at Dana and get a smile on his face, and he will head out to the late night gym.
And she is sporting a red leotard, a leather jacket, and thigh-high boots. Definitely not what you would see someone wearing at the gym. And so, the two of you make your way to a local gym. And with some sweet talking and a little bit of cash, you are able to use whatever equipment you like to use for this evening.
Oh, I'd like to go in first and get changed and go to my locker that I kept there
Hmm.
and retrieve something.
The locker that you rented is exactly as you left it.
I will pull out the phone and punch in the number.
It rings a couple times. No answer. But the phone still rings. The line's still connected. That's a good sign? Question mark?
I'll hang up and I'll go ahead and put the phone back, get changed, and head out to work the floor, do a little bit of exercise, and just troll and see what's around. See if anybody is interested. Lay on the charm. Male or female, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Dana, what are you doing? Are you just watching Ken as he works?
Keeping an eye on him. Mostly, I'm just taking a look to end up seeing where he's providing his hunt and what I can end up grabbing from it. Also, I'm trying to be mindful as to whose neck of the woods we're currently sitting in. Mostly because, well, if this is his usual spot, there might be connections there. But there's also the odd bit of I might have to end up working with this individual, and, well, I'd just like to know what kind of trouble I'm currently being signed on for.
Dana, make me an intelligence streetwise.
Average roll, I'm happy.
Okay. Well, you're still on the Camarilla side of the Pearl River. That's good. It's... So far as you know, it's not particularly claimed by any one kindred. In fact, do you think that this area might be part of the areas that Liv is fairly familiar with? She's familiar with just about everything going from the reservoir all the way around the northern Flowwood domain, given
Well,
her
I guess I
experience.
should be grateful for these things then. Anything goes completely afloat, at least Liv's gonna be around. I'm observing. Probably from my car, just looking out and admiring the displays of athleticism. Or maybe some 400-pound here, half-shaven porker who's just trying to end up walking it off and getting gassed 5 minutes into his work routine because he'd never seen a treadmill before, but decided to end up paying $100 to end up gaining a membership. Good for him. Small improvements. Baby steps, which is all he's currently doing on that treadmill. It's baby steps because, let's be honest here, he ends up going any faster, he might be at risk of sweating out a Cheeto.
There's all types inside. All types. And looking at the exterior of this particular place, it's not a chain. Kind of looks like it's one of those slightly dumpy gyms. How he can even stand going into this place, you're not even sure. But he might have different tastes in things than you do. So, Ken, walking through the floor, kind of doing a little bit of that lovely routine that is also oh so fetching, given your beautiful lithe form. Now you're humanity 8, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let me.
I do have an idea of how I gained membership to this gym.
Okay. Well, that's not the important part. I am going to check and see what the rules are for Blush of Life for you, because I don't recall.
I was going to ask that as well.
That is Gifts of the Blood.
The only reason I brought up my membership was just because it would help with the surroundings.
Yeah.
I think I might have helped decorate this gym on the inside with murals.
That's entirely possible. Where is Humanity 8? Here we go. Okay, so if you want to do Blush of Life, you have advantage. You can roll 2 dice for your rouse check and take the higher result.
I will do so. So I just roll 2d10s?
Yeah, do 2 rouse checks and you'll take the higher success. And you can just press the rouse button twice. Okay, so the 1 success that it is. It does not cost you anything to blush, since you are a high enough humanity that you have advantage on your rouse checks. So, you course the vitae within your veins to flow like the blood that once made you human. Your cheeks come to life. Your slightly pale complexion turns almost lifelike. If anyone looking directly at you, discerningly or otherwise, wouldn't be able to tell the difference, that you're a walking corpse. So, you are attempting to lure in someone who is unsuspecting and maybe ask them on a date to a very fancy get-together. So, how do you go about doing this?
Oh, as I'm working out, just go to see if anybody's eye is catching me, and if they are, maybe start working out closer to them and strike up some conversation. Turn
Even
on the
with
charm a little bit.
even without a roll, there are always people who are looking at you.
I'm
The
looking for someone fit and
yeah,
that go takes care of themselves.
that's not hard to find. That is, there's definitely a very lovely, attractive, very fit, but still lean woman who is constantly swaying her eyes in your direction as you are probably the most beautiful fit thing that she's seen in this gym for a long time. And as you inch ever closer to her, she also flirts right back with you. As you're flirting with her, she's she's easily taken by you. She definitely seems interested. So how do you go about putting the finishing touch on that conversation?
You know, my dear, I seem to have a problem. I have an event coming up, and well, I would love to take someone along with me because nobody likes to go by themselves to a party. I was wondering if you would like to join me on this.
Are we talking about like drinks? Are we talking about what exactly are we talking about?
There's more of a large social gathering. There will be drinks,
Oh wow.
some dancing. It's a very fancy party.
Wow, and I look the least attractive today, having just come off of the elliptical. Wow. Um, can go ahead and make me a charisma, persuasion, plus your looks merit.
That is 2 dice, correct?
If you're at the 4 dot looks merit, then yes, that is a 2 dice bonus. And any other uh persuasion check specialties you might have in
I have one for victims.
you're not necessarily considering her a victim at this moment. You're not feeding on her. You're not feeding on her as of right now.
Yeah. I'm just considering if I want to rouse the blood to make sure to hammer this home. I can always hunt later. I will rouse the blood for this to get extra dice.
Okay. Then that would be 2 dice for the blood surge, 2 dice for your looks merit, plus your charisma plus persuasion.
Okay, so that's just one rouse check, right?
Yep, 1 rouse check.
Oh, I go up in a hunger. Charisma plus 4 dice.
Charisma, persuasion, and then +4 as your modifier.
Copy that.
Ooh, that's a lot of dice.
I'll spend the willpower to re-roll just to make sure this happens.
Well, that's on you.
I just check it off so it's slashed, correct?
Yeah. All right. Five will hammer it home. She's blushing pretty profusely She's like, wow, a fancy party for a first date? My god, that's very forward. I like forward men. And she gets pretty close without getting too close, in your exact personal space, because you haven't exactly made a physical move on her as of yet. But she's kind of looking as if that's what she's wanting.
As I said, Ken will turn on all the charm. And he will do exactly what she wants.
And so, wherever it is that she can find a private space, if you are consenting, she is going to have her way with you.
Sure. It'll turn into a fun night.
Yeah, no, you're probably waiting around for about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, probably gonna be listening in to this little. Well, I believe I have the capability of listening in. If my character sheet would load, there we go.
You said you were waiting out in the car, yes?
I can control one pane of glass, and the rest of the gym is right there. So,
Yeah.
might be difficult, but I'm definitely gonna give it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're walking inside and just kind of listening out. So yeah, that would be a wits awareness, and if you're using it, heightened senses.
Yep. You know what? I will spend a willpower on. That's 6 successes.
Ooh. Yeah, you can overhear Ken really putting on the charm on this very beautiful fit woman. She kind of gives you the same kind of vibes that Belle did. Kind of strong. Yeah, looking sweaty. Probably looking a little delicious at this point too.
Probably.
That blood racing. I can only imagine what a high heart rate tastes like. Probably had a few of those in your day.
When the mood strikes me.
It's just that little itch in the bottom of your gullet that reminds you, we could go for a snack while we're here.
Could be. But I'll save that for another point in time. Right now, I want to end up seeing what Kenny Boy does. Seems to at least have a handle on the situation. Thus far, hasn't frenzied in the middle of a gym, so that's a start.
Certainly seems to start, because you overhear the conversation in which he's asked her to a fancy party. She's agreed. A little flustered, but she makes it very, very clear that she wants to have her way with Ken, and she leads him off to some place private, and you lose sight of them. Unless, of course, you intend to follow.
You know what? I think I will.
Okay. They're not being particularly stealthy, but are you looking to get caught in following? Because if you're kind of wanting to make it nonchalant, it's going to be a composure or dexterity stealth.
No, I'm not really the stealthy type. I want Kent.
Can you
Go ahead.
can you see out of the corner of your eye as this lovely woman is uh, taking your hand and leading you away further into the gym? You can see Dana out the corner of your eye, kind of almost beelining it toward you. Looks like she might be following.
I'll just kind of shake my head and try to find a secluded place in the gym.
Are you trying to get Dana to lose sight of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that'll be a dexterity stealth versus Dana's wits awareness. It's a tie.
Who do ties go towards?
The aggressor, so that would be on Dana's favor.
You know what? I'll spend another willpower to reroll some dice.
How low are you getting on willpower, my friend?
I've spent one.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I think you recover 2 at the rouse check, right?
At the start of every night, you recover equal to your composure or resolve, whichever is lowest.
No, whichever's highest.
Okay.
Or highest, sorry.
Okay, so I would recover 3. So I should still be okay.
Okay. Then you may use
And
a willpower
that's
if you like. That's 2 dice. Okay. So it brings you to 4. Dana, he's slippery. You lose sight of him.
probably as she's leading, I'd see a closet, and I just open the door and drag her in and shut the door behind us really quickly.
And as soon as you do, she starts to make out with you. You giving up, Dana?
For now. I'm sure if something goes wrong, I'm going to hear about it very, very quickly.
Okay.
But if they're in the middle of it, I'm going to end up... I'm going to keep watch. No sense making things more difficult for them than I have to.
Okay.
Just in case.
And after a few minutes, you don't find anyone who comes down this way to interrupt anyone. And after a few moments, the woman that you saw comes out of a closet.
Too easy.
And starts going back into the gym proper.
I take a moment to check in on the individual that he's particularly taken to.
She seems winded, but healthy. And Ken, after all of that, she did give you her number.
Okay. I guess I would go and probably smile and head up to get cleaned up and back into my clothes and go out to meet Dana.
I just kind of kindly close the door on her while she's still kind of out of it. Let her wake up as to what happened, all sullied and inside of a closet. Trying to use the janitor mop in order to end up standing themselves up.
Well, she was the first one to leave.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that then. I thought she was still in there.
No, she left the closet before Ken did.
I'll keep in mind then. And I will end up exiting out. I head back to the vehicle. Start it up.
Yep. The woman goes back to her workout routine, and then after a few more minutes, you're rejoined by Ken.
I don't say anything to you, Quirky. Probably the first time that she hasn't. She just starts driving. Though she's going to end up making a stop beforehand. She's going off to the armor.
Okay. So you both are headed off to the armory. I realized that I never switched the scene for that. Ha 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 ha.
Right.
I'm an idiot.
It's okay, we were having too much fun.
But I'm
Well, when you arrive at the armory, the familiar faces of Ted at the bar and Persian on the stage singing to her heart's content is obvious here.
I take a moment to go out and, of course, speak to Ted, seeing how business is going, start to collect notes and what have you. I walk around like I own the place, which I do, which I don't think Ken is aware of, so this might be of interest to him. The music plays loud in the background as Persian is belting out, well, whatever qualifies this day and age. I'm starting to end up losing track. Starting to spend more time with my coterie than I am here. It's regrettable. And as the sands of time go through the shattered hourglass, allow us to dig through the sand, salt, and glass. Hopefully we don't slice ourselves to pieces on it. I end up giving the customary greetings. Of course, I'm greeting regular clientele who know me on a first-name basis, and start making my way to the office as I start to file through paperwork. I never take the time to introduce Kent to anybody. I just allow him to kind of take it in, see if he's paying attention.
And Ken, when you walk into this place, it's grungy. The atmosphere, the music, the fact that there is a fairly wily looking older gentleman at the bar, cleaning glasses, kind of looking at you.
Ken would just take in the sights, kind of watch Dana work the room, staying kind of close behind her but not being obtrusive, and wait to see if she wants him to follow to the office. If not, he'll just go and mingle and just see what this place is about.
Well, Dana doesn't control your actions one way or the other. It's simply going about allowing you an opportunity if you're smart enough to take it.
If she doesn't shut the door in his face, he would go in with her.
She starts looking over some notes. You know, you'd expect this kind of work to be done on a computer nowadays, but no, it's good old-fashioned pen, paper, and a calculator. She ends up doing so. And she's making down a few notes. Occasionally looks up at you. You know, Kenny, on occasion, some of us actually try and live a life outside of our nightly interests.
It is a nice place you have here.
There's a lie if I ever heard one. Well, first one I caught you in, anyway.
It has its certain charms.
Now I can see why they brought you into the Camarilla. Very agreeable person, right? I mean, up until you decide to switch sides.
Speaking of which, I've been meaning to ask you a question.
Sure, you have more than a fair few fluttering around in that belfry of yours.
You know a lot about the Anarchs. Even more than me, considering I was one. Where did you come from?
Depends who you ask and what story you want to believe. Would you like the poor girl who ended up spending most of her time on the streets until she was sick and tired of getting turned inside out for pennies and decided to fight back, and sire saw something in her? Or would you like the rich girl going against what daddy wanted for her life, decided to end up running with the wrong crowd? Or maybe you would like the idea of the fair maiden who's become corrupted by being disillusioned from the society that we're a part of. Or maybe you'd like the idea of trailer near Park Bimbo that ended up managing to strike it out on her own when she moved to the big city. Pick a story. It's all the same to me.
You've told me a lot and nothing at the same time.
Or maybe I told you everything and you didn't hear it all at the same time. Either way, it arrives at the same conclusion. Why do I know so much? Well, it's actually pretty simple. I know a lot because, unlike it seems everybody else, I intend to be here in 100 years. I'd like to be celebrating my near first 1,000 afterwards by coming back to this spot on occasion.
Were you always a Camarilla person, or?
And no one's always a Camarilla. Camarilla's choosy. That's why we're a little suspicious if you see. Camarilla stopped saying that everybody was under the wing, and I know just enough to know that now you don't just come in. Usually that requires a lot of trial, negotiation, and positioning. You need to prove that you're worthy of being one of the Ivory Tower elite scumbags that end up managing to end up climbing their way up, usually over their boss's carcass. And then you need to be able to end up proving that you're bringing something to the table where everybody has to end up chipping in to end up offering it unto Caesar. So as much as you try and end up proving this I go along to get along attitude, you and I both know at some point you gave unto Caesar.
That is not a fact that I ever tried to hide.
Yeah. But it is one that you tried to live down. So I know a lot because I stay connected with the right people. You think I stay around Rodney because I enjoy the atmosphere? Or the fact that when he's around, there's that smell of cat piss and tuna? Or do you think that I like the idea of hanging around with Malice and realizing that every single time they end up smiling at me, I can't help but notice that the teeth don't quite line up to their skull because they're just a whole bunch of tiny needles? Maybe you haven't noticed yet, but these things start to matter. And I made sure to end up being on top. And they put up with me for the same reason. They want to stay connected. They want to end up knowing what's going on in the heads of everyone around them. So when they want to know, they ask.
It does take time to develop a network like that.
Time, money, patience. And it doesn't help when you got the assets to back it up. Do you think I'm just going to stay on the front line and wait for the Anarchs to just show up? No, probably not. I'm going to end up taking advantage of every opportunity I have. However, that means that I have to be completely aware on who's going to stab me in the back and when. So when I look at you, fresh off the boat and deciding to end up coming to join this woman's camarilla, quote my sire, well, then all of a sudden there is a problem. You're fresh, you're new, and you can espouse the words all you want. But until I know, I'm treating you like you're radioactive. And the only reason I'm tolerating your presence at all, following you around, seeing if it's fun, bringing you into little places like this to get in the know, isn't because I like you. It's because if I don't, you're going to do something stupid, and something that probably a anarch who wasn't particularly well taught or thought that the rules were just a suggestion. And then you're going to end up screwing it up for everybody. So I'd rather take the time to educate you now.
Well, I will try to learn what I can.
So
I don't
what's the
know if
lesson
I'll
you're
ever
learning
be.
right now? You think I stopped teaching just because I stopped talking?
No, right now I know I need to make friends. I need to learn the goings on. I need to see the bigger picture. And I
Good
need to
luck with
start
that.
planning. I'm not saying I'll be successful. I told you I'm not the smartest of men, but I need to find my place here.
The girl you took tonight, you seem to have no problem with her.
That is easy.
So I guess then you're have an easy time being a trophy husband. Hey, everybody's got a shtick. I'm not here to laugh at it. If it works, it works. Maybe get you shacked up with some politician or governor or who knows, maybe hook you up. You know, we're in progressive times. Maybe police chief's office. I don't know.
If that ends up happening, at least I'll be plugged into something.
No, you'll be plugged all right.
So what would you do if you were in my shoes?
Besides walking into the sun.
Tempting, but yes, besides walking into the sun.
Start off with the basics. You didn't seem to have a hard time feeding just now, but what happens when things run short? Do you know who you can go to? Who you can turn to? What if, maybe I just get an itch and decide to burn your haven down and say, screw it, I don't like this hotel, so I think I'll burn it down too so we can start again from scratch just because I gotta be in. You got a place to stay?
No.
Okay, so there's your first problem. Blood and shelter. It should have been the first thing an anarch should have taught you. I know that they like to slum it around a bit. Oh, me casa su casa. Yeah, that doesn't work out too well when everybody's dependent on the same thing. Well, let's just say that a little bit of remodeling via a bottle of alcohol and a cleaning rag can suddenly end up remodeling an entire neighborhood if you're not careful. So with that in mind, you might want to have backups. Second, you're no good to me if you're half-starved, crazed, and letting that animal that you actually are suddenly out. So you need to keep on that. Third, you need to know whose turf you're on and pay them all due respect. Not because you like them, but because guess what? When you're dealing with the cam, it means a whole lot of ass kissing, whether you like it or not. And sometimes that ass is going to be somebody you really don't like, so you better end up getting used to that. Though I think you'll fit right in there. I mean, your face is just tailor-made to be put between two cheeks. Okay, you can stop laughing, man. We're good.
Alright. Well, I came over with nothing, so I will work on these things. They seem relatively a smart idea. That's things that I wanted to do anyways.
It's the basics, and something that you should have been doing way before you ended up getting signed on to Camarilla. So another reason why I have a little bit of a trust issue when it comes to you. See, if I were to end up asking any of the others, they already have this stuff handled. It's what they're able to do that matters, who they know. But with you, you got a pretty face. And I'm sorry, but once you start living past your first decade, then the stick gets a little old. And then you start realizing you better be bringing something else, because I don't need some dumb fuck suddenly showing up and end up saying, oh, I'm one of you now, just to end up screwing up a couple years later, and all of a sudden my name is attached to yours. Yeah, that's not happening. So the way I see it is one of two things are going to happen. You're going to have to figure this shit out, or potentially you're going to have to find a way to end up jumping ship, because you became my problem the minute that Caesar ended up declaring it as such. And you say you don't want to be a load. Well, if I got to end up figuring out how to end up keeping you up to date in the hotel business, the fact that you don't know anybody in the Camarilla worth talking to, and the fact that you are still figuring out this coterie, there is a problem. The Toreador, we have a tendency of dialing people in very quickly. It's what we do best. It's what we live upon, as being able to go amongst any group of people and suddenly dial in exactly what they want, who they are, and what appeals to them, and being able to bring them on home, or to a shoddy motel, or in the back of the car, or in your case, a broom closet. Make them feel all special, and figures that you'd be doing a broom closet because you don't have a nice car to bring them out to. Maybe that's something you can also work on. It's how you present yourself. You were worried about dressing to how everybody else did. I'm worried about everybody trying to keep up with me, because that's what we are. We're trendsetters. We make people here follow us, not the other way around. Let the venture deal with that bullshit. They only know about ties and suits and nice little cocktail dresses. No sense of imagination. They like formality. They also don't tend to end up having much when it comes down to linguistics outside of yes sir, no ma'am. We're supposed to be a little bit of a creative bunch, and typically, as much as you might not want to hear this, in the eyes of the Toreador, you are always being judged at all times. We're not friendly. It's like being amongst a sewing circle. Everybody's got rumors, everybody's got gossips, everybody wants their time in the spotlight, but the minute you have it, I can guarantee it, you are being judged as soon as you walked in the room. So stop hiding from that and own it.
Ken will just sit there and kind of let this all sink in, and
It's about that time that there's a knock on the door.
Hold that brain blue screen off to the side for a minute. I have business. Come in.
And you see that Ted is coming into the room. Everything all right in here?
Ted, darling. He stands up and he gives him a hug, the whole reading bit. Which,
He kind of
let's
gives
be
you
honest,
a hug back too.
yeah, me and Ted know exactly what's up the second this happens. Ted, this is Kenny T. Kenny T here is interested in having a job, so I decided to end up bringing him in for an interview.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually glad that you ended up stepping up in because Kenny here wants to end up learning the business, and I like to end up having somebody with the experience and the insight to really keep a hold of him. I don't know. He likes to end up dressing up for the occasion. I'm telling him that, the Hawaiian shirt thing just isn't our jam, but, well, let's be honest, that's not why I'm hiring him.
And you notice that Ted kind of looks you over, Ken, and you just actually let's see. Do I have a character sheet for him? No, he doesn't have any stats. He's pretty insightful though.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
more successes.
I would like you, Ken, to make me a composure subterfuge.
and perfect lie wouldn't apply, right?
No, I don't believe because of what me and CoffeeCat discussed. No, I don't think so.
No, because you're not overtly lying to him. This is
Okay.
a can you keep your cool with this guy?
Okay.
Ted just kind of looks over to you, Dana, then back at Ken, and kind of cocks an eyebrow. Interview, huh? It's a
For that exact.
shame you didn't walk him by the bar before coming straight back, and you could have introduced me.
Wasn't sure if he was going to be sticking around or if he'd be heading off into the sunrise tonight.
Well, what do you know about barkeeping, kid?
I know you got to keep a clean glass, and that's about it.
Oh, shit. Dana.
Like I said, wasn't hiring him on for his experience.
I've got Jesse out doing the bar right now. What's wrong with Jesse?
Never said anything was wrong with Jesse. Are you afraid I'm going to fire him too? I already cleaned house when I first got the place. I got exactly who I want here and when I want.
Right.
I have nothing to complain about on your end. I'm wondering if you think you can end up taking this, Well, let's be honest, he's a wad of cookie dough. I'm hoping after a few weeks with you, he'll be made out of wood.
I'm not a miracle worker.
No, but you're also the only person I trust to do so.
Right. Well, what's your favorite drink?
What?
Kenny T. What's your favorite drink, and do you know how to make it?
I was always partial to a rum and coke, and yes, I can make that.
An idiot can make a rum and coke.
Lucky for me.
Well, then it's an appropriate one, isn't it? You know what? I think I've seen enough. She seems thoroughly entertained by Ted's reaction. Congratulations, hey, Kenny T. You got the job. I will see you first thing tomorrow at let's keep it around 8 o'clock, so you can end up seeing on how this place works during busy time, and you might be able to end up being a bar back. Don't worry, you're going to be following around Ted and the rest for a bit, and for first little bit, I just want you to get climatized, really take in the atmosphere. Please don't wear a Hawaiian shirt when you end up showing in here. You know, you can never go wrong with the classics, Children of Bodom, Slayer, Cradle of Filth, System of a Down, I guess.
If you want to get really cheesy, you can go Metallica.
Yeah, can't always ignore the classics. But whatever it is, just end up here getting it. Makes yourself look the part, and because I know you're really concerned about how things look for you, and just come on in. I figure this is a nice step, and congratulations. Thank you very much for coming in. We're gonna end up heading out pretty soon, Ted. Is there anything that you need on my end?
I was wanting to talk to you for a second, actually.
Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure doing business with you. Thank you for the job. I'll be downstairs.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And with that, Ken makes his way out of the bar for the moment, and Ted is left kind of sidling up next to you as Ken's leaving and the door shuts. What's with him?
Ticking time bomb that I'm pretty sure is going to go off at the worst possible time if it doesn't end up getting handled with soon. You can smell it on him too, can't you?
Yeah.
A little bit of... So, that's why I brought him over to see you. I wanted your take on him. I'd like to keep him in a place where I can actually know what's going on in his head. And somebody who...
Ticking time bomb. Great.
No worse than the rest of us. But I need somebody who can help him keep it in check. You've done real good for yourself over the past few years.
And, he starts to, fiddle with his hair a little bit. It's been a little harder to really keep under control for the moment.
Don't worry. In time, we'll figure something out. I've found it tougher myself. But thankfully, the whole project just fell into my lap. I figure I share the wealth. Something to keep you distracted. And who knows? Not that it matters much, but it might mean a pay raise for you after all. Now you got to end up claiming yourself as a trainer on your resume.
You paying me more?
If everything works out, that depends on him. Like I said, didn't hire him for his ability to mix a drink.
No. He's definitely going on bar back.
I'd like him to be running in between the bar and keeping it front of house as possible. Keep him running across, most of the crowd back and forth. Let him be seen, but not really interacted with. Seeing how it works. I expect with him around, we're going to end up increasing a small amount of female clientele and retention, and because of that, well, the guys follow the girls after all.
And there's just this look on his face. Almost as if you're speaking his language. Well, he's certainly a pretty face.
Just remember, like the rest of us, it's all,
A facade.
He's still coming to grips with that. But then again, I don't think he's done as much personal reflection as you and I have.
How did
But
you
then again,
find him? It's not every day. Did you find somebody like him?
he was
Like
in
you.
a...
Like
Sure.
me?
I found him, actually, believe it or not, having a time in a broom closet.
A broom
He
closet.
just won't... Oh, yeah. I don't think it was his first, but he seemed to be having a lot of fun. But he
Right.
managed to dial it back before things ended up getting too messy and too loud. Able to make him come back for seconds without having to end up getting a mop. Yeah, tells us some promise now, doesn't it?
It's true.
I want him on a short leash. So if I can end up bringing him in, keep him wound up, tied up, and overall useful to me, then that's fine. If he decides to go off the res, so to speak, I want to make sure that I have a few people who know how to handle those kinds of situations. I'll be there in the pit with you. I always have been, Ted.
I know.
But I need you to trust me on this one. And don't trust him. He's gonna play sweet. He's gonna pretend to end up being something he's not. But I need somebody who can see through that shit.
Oh, I can definitely see through that shit. Plain as day. That kid ain't right.
No. So, I'll take a look at the invoice, make sure orders come in this week. Try and end up getting us stocked up.
Good, because we're running out of rum.
Why is it always the rum? Why is the rum gone? Yeah. All right.
Figured I'd get a giggle out of you for that one.
I'm getting better at pretending. All right. I'm going to end up driving the kid home, see what's up, and hope. Just hope. Well, we'll see on how it goes.
Let me know.
And with that, I stand up. Since there's no one here to show off, we don't need to end up doing the lovey-huggy thing of how much of a family this is. We already. That makes our way out to go grab Ken, and if there's nothing else, bring him on home.
And I think with that, we are going to take a very quick break and be back here shortly for a little bit more of what the Dig Crew is up to. So don't go anywhere, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the last remaining bit for episode 6 of War in the Soul City. Ken, before putting his phone away in the locker where he had originally looked for it, realized he had a text that he had missed while he was off gallivanting with his fling. It simply reads from the phone number he called, the usual spot. And thus, Ken finds himself in a place secluded to some degree near the Pearl River on the northern Flowood neighborhood side. Ken, why don't you give us a little bit of an idea who it is that you called?
I called my sire, trying to reach out to her. It is a woman named Asako.
You seem to be the first one here.
I'll kind of take up I think I might try to hide a little bit just to see who all is coming and see if make sure it's not dangerous.
You know how dangerous the Anarchs can be. But you find yourself a place to hide, and before long, you do see a figure walking towards the usual spot. Shoulder-length black hair, feminine figure.
Do I recognize them?
It looks like Asako.
And she looks alone.
She looks alone.
I'll just start walking up.
I can hear you.
I knew I couldn't hide from you.
Why are you calling me Ken?
I was worried about you with everything that's going on.
Really? When you abandoned us?
I couldn't take all that death. It just doesn't seem right to me.
You're a snitch, Ken.
I won't deny what I have done, but I had to do something.
And then you call me?
Yes, I was hoping to try to convince you to come.
You really think that's how that works?
No, but I have to try.
I would sooner be dead. You have
I don't
shackled yourself to them. And now we're enemies.
I don't like the position I put you in. It is the biggest regret.
You are like a son to me. And she kind of leans in close to you and kind of puts her hands on your face, just admiring the softness of your skin, dead as it is.
I'll never stop trying to fight for you and hoping that someday we can make things right.
By running to the Camarilla and telling them of our plans, you forced us. You, Ken, you forced us.
Why can't we change things from the inside? Work our way through the ranks. Get meaningful things done that you all hate.
Oh, you are so young. You are so naive. The Camarilla is a well-oiled and established machine that grinds even its beloved roses into the ground until there is nothing left to give.
That is probably the case. I truly am sorry if I hurt you.
This city will burn. And it will be because of you.
Is there nothing we can do to stop this?
The gears are already turning. There is nothing I can do to convince you to come home.
I have to try to figure this out. I don't know if I can make a difference, but I have to try. I have to live by what I think is right. Even if that means that I'm going to lose in the end.
Then we are enemies. You are no longer to contact me. If you do, then Baron Thresh himself will come for you. You will be the first on his list. And he will watch the tower fall. And stand upon its ashes.
I don't care about towers. They can fall, but try not to take innocence with it. That is the only thing I can ask.
You have made your choice. And I have made mine. I'm sorry, my son. But you are no longer mine. Be well.
Ken will just kind of hold a hand up to her face and tell her, stay safe.
Goodbye. And she just turns away from you and starts to walk quickly back to where she came from.
Ken will just take the slow walk back and think about this.
What's going through your mind, Mr. Tanaka?
He's obviously sad about the fact because he truly does care about his sire. He didn't think that it would work trying to bring her over, but he still had to try. And he knows this is probably going to end up getting him killed, but like you said, he has to live by what he thinks is right. And he's going to try to find a way to make things right.
I would like you to make me a premonition roll. No rouse needed.
Okay. Oh, I never filled in the dice for what is a premonition roll is.
Resolve discipline, I believe. Resolve all specs.
And I'll scroll through and find it real quick and look it up.
I believe it is resolve all specs.
Okay. If you think that's right, I'll put that in. Um, you know what? I'll spend the willpower to try to re-roll the one dice.
I could also let you succeed at a cost.
Do I get to know what the cost is before I choose?
Yes. The cost is so what I could do is I could make that premonition a messy crit. However, it would mean someone you know is getting involved in something that you do not want them involved in.
I'm young and stupid enough to not know the difference, so let's succeed at a cost.
All right. She removes her hand from your face, and it's almost like it sucker punches you right in the gut. You see several people. It's dark. It's solstice ball night. An explosion. There's death. And what you see when you look upon the crown on the tower, it's enraged. And that rage will come down like a hammer and strike out against those who have offended it. And your sire will be among them. The hammer will strike down on her first. And then, before you know it, she's gone. And you're standing there alone at the river.
Ken will just kind of mutter unto himself, fuck. And he's got to contemplate on what to do. I know there's no way that the ball would probably be canceled, but maybe if he can convince people, they might be able to change places or do something. I don't know. But he definitely has to inform someone that knows how to play the game.
Well, we may have to find out that next time. As when we return to the Dig Crew, it will be the Solstice Celebration, and every kindred from the city of Jackson will be present. To mingle, to dance, to dine. And we'll have to find out what happens next. But until then, that's the session for today.
Yay!
Yay!
Shit.
I'm kind of curious as to any of Rodney's cat spotted that little tryst happening.
Wait, what?
Rodney's cats are kind of on lookout duty at the moment. So
At the
I'm kind of
hotel.
wondering if any of them noticed. Yeah, kind of wondering if any of them noticed leaving or entering from Ken.
There is a chance.
At the hotel, maybe, but not from any other site really. In the domain.
I need to start building that up some more
Yep.
because he wants to have a network of cats throughout the domain. All the kitties.
All the kitties.
That's the only pussy Rodney ever gets, but it'll do it.
Well, I'm starting the poll for. Oh no! I did not restart my recording. God damn it. Well,
no.
Oh no.
Aww.
Oh.
I'll have to download it from Twitch. It's fine.
No, we can just do it again. Let's do it live.
We did it live. That was the problem.
That was the problem. I got to download it from Twitch and actually cut the video because
Out.
I was actually
Cat,
live cutting it. God damn it.
What is the cat doing to you?
Putting her claws into my shoulder to stretch out.
Oh, what a baby.
Create. Okay.
Well, thankfully, she's the lightweight. It doesn't rip my skin wide open like the other one does.
Black Wolf, if you're still here, could you try and make a poll? It's not letting me. I don't know how to fix this. But yes, we love our cast. So, for this lovely episode, we have finished up everything. Any thoughts, feelings? Any stains that I really should be imposing on you?
Well, let's take a look here. What are the Chronicle tenets again?
Obey thine superiors, civility is the highest virtue, and the guilty shall suffer.
Well, let's see. Civility is the highest virtue. I would be taking a stain if I wasn't upholding the guilty shall suffer. And I believe even if I was taking civility, courage is the highest virtue, so her flaunting that is balancing it out. So I think that works well in a balance.
Tonight was a good session, though.
Yeah.
I don't know many stains.
I
Nobody killed
hope-
anybody.
Yeah, I don't think I have any stains.
Okay. Then I think we're good on that one. In that case... Yeah, I've never seen that error either, Black Wolf. I don't know what I don't get it. Let me see about setting up a poll in Streamlabs instead. But yes, in the case of all of this, our coterie needs to decide who gets experience. So everybody gets one for showing up today.
Yay!
Yay! Your consolation prize.
My participation.
Your participation
Yeah, my
trophy.
participation trophy.
Exactly. Now, the way we do experience is very similar to the way Derek does, in that our players vote on who had the best scene, who moved our plot the furthest, and who had the best line. So, who moved plot?
Dana.
Could be personal plot, could be overall plot, it could be anything.
I want to fish for somebody else, but I'm going to have to agree with Moxie because Moxie ended up making a personal plot and it pushed her own plot and ended up pushing Ken's plot.
I want to say Dana.
I'm sorry. She's very much a out and about. I'm gonna make a scene.
Oh, but we love her for it.
Yeah, all of a sudden Moxie's going, thank God Derek never played a catty bitch with me. I'm not sure on how that would go down, and I'm kind of scared.
Look, all I want to do is stick Dana and Velda in the same room and just let them go at it. I mean, either they would get along like a house on fire, or they would get along like a house
On fire.
Sorry, just setting up the poll here. And so was that the plot mover's Dana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. The catty bitch that she is.
Love her.
I love it.
All right, then who had the best scene?
I'm gonna say that Ken did. I really liked the scene in the gym when he was kind of hunting down somebody to take along. I quite liked that.
Or even the scene with Osire, that shit almost brought a tear to my eye.
The scene with the
Ooh.
fire was also very good.
That was my vote. Ken's scene with his sire.
I think I'll agree with that call.
I could see for Dana the whole office scene too. If there another argument were to have to be made, devil's advocate.
All right, so use
I'd give it to
exclamation
Ken.
point vote and the name of the character to vote for your audience favorite. We'll be closing the poll in about 10 minutes. So, everybody do that. Since the Twitch one won't work, you can't spend built or channel points, and I'm sad about it. I want you to be able to spend your points.
I would if I weren't a part of the cast.
Yeah. Goddamn, next session's going to be heavy.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for the preview.
Ken has something that he might want to tell the others, but that also means he might have to reveal he went to go see his sire.
Well, if he's smart about the way that he words things, he won't have to mention that.
It's true. It's true.
Hey guys, I did something that can get us all killed.
He doesn't have to reveal that he went and saw his sire, just that he had a premonition.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Fair enough. You know, you can do whatever you want. Do what you want. This is your game.
See some bad shit coming this way. We might want to get the fuck out of Dodge.
It's all about being selective with your words. Oh, I learned that the hard way too.
Roll on away.
Have we decided on a best line vote?
No.
We know Dana's getting that shit for all the fucking quirky one-liners that bitch threw out.
Look, you know what? Dana had so many good one-liners. Ken also had a really good one. When Dana was trying to kind of over him as the boss lady, and he turned around, he's like, you can think what you want to, and I swear Dana was about to rip his throat out.
You can think what you want to. We're going to cycle back to that one at a later point in time, and I will remind you what you said to me at this exact moment.
Another one of my real favorites of the night from Dana was baby steps, because of course they're taking baby steps, because if they went any faster, they'd be at risk of sweating out a Cheeto.
My fat ass felt called out on that one.
Dude,
Same
So
though.
hard.
He was like ripping into all of us hard. Look at this.
oh yeah, because I am the Mary model of health, right?
And if I could give an NPC a point, it would be that's pretty forward. I like forward men. Also, your face is just tailor made to be put between two cheeks. Fucking Dana. The sewing circle line, which was absolutely a reference back to John. I felt that to my very core. Thank you.
Wait, which one?
Sewing circle.
Dana mentioned about everything being with the Toreador like a sewing circle, and all I felt was the heckles for Velda rising on the back of my neck, like, I'm gonna eat you. The heading off into the sunrise line for Dana, which was a fucking oof. God, there was so many good lines this session.
Well, you have the lovely macabre Derek to thank for that. He is a witty individual.
Oh, it was so good.
Makes all of the best quips, including "What is heat?
What is yeet?
What is yeet?
What is IKEA?
And how
may I use it to garner me more power?"
If only I had the kind of gravitas for that voice. I don't.
Here's the thing, right? It only works because of who he is. Because he is this ultra serious character. So all of a sudden, when he takes something seriously that sounds like a lark, and you realize, right, he's a few centuries behind in his thinking on occasion. He does well to keep up, but on occasion it slips up.
He's doing well for a couple of thousand, like, nearing 1,000 years old.
Yes, but he's in the body of a fledgling.
Yeah, that's the worst part, right?
Derek, you're making me miss Velda so much with the Toreador. Like, oh my god.
You want to know what? It's a clan I don't play often enough in my mind. It's a clan that I can have a lot of fun with. But dear God, like it took a bit for me to find my groove with Dana, and basically Dana, I've come to realize, because everybody, I think we'd all agree that in some case there's a part of that character. It might be just a nugget, but there's some part of your character that is you. Yes. And what I basically said was, what happens if Derek takes off the filter? Like,
yes.
doesn't do revisionist and go, okay, let me ask if this is something that I should end up saying, or, you know, like, do I mean it?
Just lets it flow out of his ass.
Yeah, even if I don't mean it, just go, right?
Be the sassy bitch you were born to be.
I can't do that on Twitch.
Yeah, well, that's half the thing, right? So I only got like half a filter. It's just, will this get me banned from Twitch? That is the only filter it's going through. Outside of that, it's like, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of overweight here people. Let's be honest, no one in this stream is particularly in their physical prime right now. Fuck it, I'm gonna make fat jokes. I'm gonna hurt everybody's feelings.
If I take that filter off, if I take my filter off, that filter goes with it. Because I don't care no more.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, a few of you have experienced me without that filter, and you also know I know to know better.
And I enjoyed those sessions almost as much as this one.
Don't forget to vote, everybody. You got 3 minutes left.
Yep.
Exclamation point
Yes,
vote
Dana.
and the name of the character that you would like to see get that poll that's lovely point.
Like, truthfully, Toreador has to be one of my absolute favorite clans so far. Like, I love Toreador so much. It touches me in ways that none of the other clans have yet.
Oh, by the way, did we decide who got the line?
I believe that was Dana.
I think
Dana.
Dana's kind of overwhelming, if only on punches and bunches. We may not all agree on the line, we just agree on the who.
I had a good right cross, but Dana just boxed me out the whole time.
Goddamn.
Sorry.
You had one good jab in there, and that was it.
You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta get her in the gut.
Hit her once, it's like, and for the rest of the session, she's about to make me regret this.
Oh yes.
You gotta knock that bitch out with one punch.
Yeah, you make it count. But no, my favorite line in that entire thing still ends up coming down to baby steps. Baby steps. Because of course they're taking baby steps, because if they went any faster, they'd be at risk of sweating a Cheeto.
Yep. That's a delightful line. I love it. We love to see it.
That hurt on a spiritual level.
I think that was the intent. I love this game. You guys are great. I love playing games with you guys.
You guys are fantastic.
I just love playing games with you guys. It's just so much fun.
I'm, the worst part is I want to end up sticking around with Dana. There's another part of me that's going, okay, so what's the next character? How's that going to happen?
Right? I'm already thinking about my next character as well.
To be fair, if there's a total party wipe,
and if there's any group that could there is no saving grace. It's gonna be this one. Let's be real, because we already know how the chronicle ends.
We already know the ending. Yep.
And to be honest, I don't remember seeing any of these fuckers out over in San Antonio. It was a fucking family or city reunion in San Antonio. None of these fuckers were on the docket.
We shall have to find out. See if and where they go after all of this. But yes, the poll is complete, and it's a tie between Ken and Rodney. So, high or low, boys?
It's been a bit hit or miss tonight. So
I'm going low.
Low clan low then.
Low clan low. Blammo. Hey, you both get a point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be grateful I wasn't rolling it.
It's okay. You've been having okay rolls today. It's fine.
Not like the last session. Oh dear God.
No, where you had multiple 0 successes.
Oh man, literally less than a quarter of my dice rolled a success.
Yep.
I don't remember. Did we do best scene? I remember we talked about it, but who won that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dana.
Dana
That
did.
went to Ken.
No,
that
yes.
went to Ken.
Yeah.
Best
It was
scene
Dana-
was Ken.
Dana,
Yeah.
Ken, Dana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dana can Dana. That's what we
Okay,
have.
so I think I should have 4 points. I'm just making sure I wrote it down right.
Okay. Any expenditures for experience?
Yes.
KSS.
Yes, I would like. If we're doing the time skip,
We are doing time skip.
I intend to milk that ass for everything it's worth, so I'm going to increase myself to resources 3.
Okay. Because you're at 2 right now.
Yeah. And with that new influx of customers, I am going to get myself herd 1.
Do it. Yes.
Let me look up how much stuff costs because I might be making.
So that's herd 1 is 50-50 random resonance, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
quick question. I have a single dot in obfuscate.
Yes.
If I wanted to go up to a second dot, it would be how much?
10.
10. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll buy my second dot in obfuscate.
Ooh, what you taking?
I don't know. I'm still going to have to be looking at that. I just know I want to take that.
The choices you have would be Silence of Death or to take the level 2 power. I forget what it's called again now.
So I need to increase my sneaky boy's ability at being sneaky.
Yes, he's a sneaky boy. But yes,
Let me just open it up.
why am I blanking on this? I use this power so many times with mouse. I forget what it's called.
It's all good. I'll find it in a second.
Okay. I'm just blanking. My inner Nosferatu is a dead thing. Unseen Passage. That's right.
Yeah.
Unseen Passage. So yeah, Silence of Death and Unseen Passage are your two choices for level 2. So Dana got some money and some food for herself.
Which would you think makes more sense, a dot in herd or a dot in finances?
Dot and resources, I would say,
Or
because
resources.
Yeah, because if you're 0 resources and she gave you a job, essentially, you can bump yourself up to 1 dot resources. You're a barback. She's the owner. You're the barback.
Yeah.
And at least she's not making you split your tips.
So you're living paycheck to paycheck. You really don't have the kind of spending money that she does.
The way this is going, I do not foresee what I had planned for Malice going the way I had planned, so...
If you have enough experience, since we are doing the time shift, if you have enough experience to buy it, you can take Homuncular Servant as your ritual.
Okay, that would be how much experience?
I'm not sure what level power that is.
Ritual?
The ritual.
It's second. It's a second level ritual.
Yes. Then rituals, if it's counted as a ritual for purchase price.
Rodney's going to have to take more baths.
Please do, Rodney, especially for the Solstice Ball, because nobody, the keeper will throw you out.
Alice will help you with that. Malice will help you get rid of the stench.
I feel like there is going to be this scene where the 3 Toreador of the group, with Malice's help, are going to pick Rodney up and just lock him in the shower.
Well, between the 3 Toreador, Malice, and Mercy, you're going to get a shower party whether you want it or not.
Okay, if
it's literally gonna be like washing a cat.
If ceremonies are purchased at the same rate as blood sorcery rituals, then it's 3 times the experience. So for level 2, it's 3 times 2 is 6.
Okay, I have just enough experience.
Wow.
And I'm out of experience. Shit. Okay. Well,
you have your ceremony now.
Yes.
And that is what you have spent this week of downtime doing.
Hey, I can add that.
Dana and Ken during this downtime are building up Ken as a barback for the bar, where she's making more money because of his pretty face, and he's making some money finally.
Yep.
That's good.
And Malice is learning a ceremony, and Rodney is training up his obfuscate. Yes.
Yep.
But
probably being hosed down daily. Because it's not the only way to remove the smell.
Yeah, and...
I just imagine the 3 of us with long brushes on handles and someone holding the hose.
Question for Rodney. Does he get a nice set of clothes tailored?
Rodney's not the kind to get tailored clothes. So
Malice will do that for him.
they will
Alice
probably
had plans for Rodney
Because there is a tailor in the city,
and clothes.
and his name is Renee.
Yeah, they will probably have to force Rodney into it.
That is Malice's plan. Since we're going to be doing the time skip,
Mm-hmm.
eat this fucker until you can't smell him anymore. Get him some clothes so that he looks presentable at this highfalutin ball.
He's got clothes. They're just
He's
probably
got
Not
trash.
he's got
presentable for
tattered
this kind of
clothes.
formal event.
You will absolutely get kicked out at the door if you walk in looking like your normal fucking self. The keeper is not gonna have that. She is a Toreador.
You're being judged at all times. I think Dana was pretty clear about that one.
Oh yeah.
And Aurelia is a bitch. She will kick your ass out.
Oh, probably.
He will not let you in.
But yes, we are all finished for tonight's session. Thank you all so much for watching. First, let's do a quick shout out to our lovely player for Dana, Mr. Macabre Derek. What you got coming up?
Well, tomorrow we're going to end up continuing on with Drawing on the Macabre, which I end up doing every single day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Plus, if you want to end up getting more Vampire the Masquerade content, you're going to be able to end up finding me on Sundays at 6:30 Central Standard Time, where we end up continuing on with Edmonton by Night Blood Sands. And if you're curious about how to play this game, or you're just kind of getting into the lore, all fledglings and neonates are welcome to end up joining me at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time on Mondays for the Vampire the Masquerade Workshop. It's kind of a AMA/lesson where we kind of just shoot the breeze about Vampire as I try and end up helping you guys in creating your own chronicles, characters, and stories. You're welcome to drop on by at any given time, and I hope to see you there.
Mox, are you doing anything for the nerds coming up?
My presence on the Nerds is pretty sporadic, but come check us out anyway. We normally have shows on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, Australian Eastern Standard Time. For those of you in the US, that would be Wednesday and Thursday, I do believe, or Monday and Tuesday mornings. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, come check us out over on the Nerds. We do all sorts of stuff, and yeah, see you there.
All right. Well, that about does it for all of us. And don't forget that if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, because if we get to 100 followers, then we can get a custom URL. And I still haven't reached that milestone yet, so do that if you haven't yet. But that is it from us here in the Soul City. I wish you all a lovely night. So say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Sad when
Take care.